Lincoln Heritage Application. The Lincoln Heritage Application has evolved over the years to minimize the amount of information required of the insured and make the agent's task easier. We can say without a doubt that Lincoln Heritage's application is the most simple and concise that can be found in the United States market. In the first third of the Lincoln Heritage Final Expense Application, we find 6 different parts. 1. The owner's information. 2. The insured's or applicant's information. 3. The information of the beneficiaries. 4. The information for the riders. 5. The plan selection, the method of payment chosen by the client and the date of payment. And 6. The information that corresponds to the coverage figures and the amount to be paid for the different premiums. We begin with the information of the policy owner that includes name, middle initial if applicable, and last name. Then we complete the email, telephone, and full address. In the section of the insured's information, we include their full name, the relationship that exists between the insured and the policy owner, in this case herself, her complete address, telephone number, the social security number. We remember that if the insured does not have a social security number, the supplementary form must be completed. The information is completed with the age, date of birth, and gender of the insured person. It is important to note that the error in the age of the insured is a common reason for underwriting problems. We recommend that agents verify this information with the date of birth. The next block is for the beneficiaries. In the case of the primary beneficiary, all the required information, including their full name, the relationship with the insured, address, and telephone number, is completed. For the contingent beneficiary, we only need the name and the relationship with the insured. In the rider's part of the application, we only have 2 options. We answer yes or no if the policy includes a child rider or an AD&D rider, and the number of units that correspond to each item. In case there is a child rider, we remind you that it is necessary to complete the form of child rider with the necessary information. The number of units marked in this case is for each child. All the children must have the same number of units. In the selection of the plan, we have 3 available options. If we ask the health conditions questions, as suggested in the video presentation of Funeral Advantage, we will know if the insured person will receive a plan for coverage of final expenses or have a modified death plan. In the payment method section, we select the option agreed with the client. The same with the next item, the payment date, remembering that the date must be between the 1st and the 28th day of the month. Next, we have the section where we will detail the amount of coverage chosen by the client, the monthly payment required for that coverage. Remember to include the $3 required for the policy fee to the amount that we obtained from the rate book. One way we can avoid mistakes in calculating the monthly premium amount is by using the verification call. You can check with the verifier at Lincoln Heritage to make sure the amount calculated is correct for the client. Then, if there are riders in the policy, we add the total of these charges as well. We will put the total amount for the child rider and AD&D rider. The last section is intended for the total premium to be paid monthly by the client for their coverage, being the sum of the monthly premium and the monthly premium for the riders. In the following 3 sections, we must answer with yes or no and are related to the health of the insured. The first is the question about tobacco use, then 2 questions regarding uninsurable conditions, and the questions about the significant health conditions of the insured. If we already have made the verification call, these sections should be completed. In the next section, we have 2 questions regarding the replacement of an existing policy. If questions number 1 and 2 are answered affirmatively, the company's information and policy number must be completed. We remind you that if this happens, you must fill out the required replacement form, bearing in mind that a copy of this replacement form must be left for the client. In some states, such as Texas, if question 1 is yes and answer 2 is no, you should still fill out the replacement form. A replacement form should not be filled out if the existing policy is Lincoln Heritage, but the information on the company's name and the customer's policy number must be completed. Then we answer the questions of the automatic loans for the payment of the premium and the form of delivery preferred by the client for their policy, whether they would like it mailed directly to their residence or delivered to them by the agent. We recommend the second option because it provides the possibility for the producer to reaffirm the sale, help the client with the filling of the form of the Funeral Consumer Guardian Society, and fundamentally, it can be an excellent opportunity to get referrals. In the last part of the application, we have the authorization to check the medications that we must detail to the client. Although, if we already made the phone call verification, this was already done by the underwriting team. Below are the spaces for the signatures of the owner and the insured. We complete the spaces corresponding to the state where the policy is signed and dated. The producer's confirmation refers to the replacement of an existing policy and must be correctly marked by the agent. This part of the application is often forgotten by the agent, which motivates an underwriting problem, so it is very important to make sure it is complete. Below are the spaces for the agent's name, his signature, and the producer number assigned by Lincoln Heritage. Next, we must answer whether the person wants to enroll in the FCGS service, highlighting the fact that it is a free benefit. Finally, it is worth noting the fact that in the lower right part of the application, we find the space to put the reference number of the verification call.